I know how difficult it can be to serve a delicious dessert that can accommodate a variety of food allergies. But I've got you covered with my moist and delicious peanut butter cupcakes. They're made gluten-free with almond flour and have a dreamy, dairy-free peanut butter frosting. And they're naturally sweetened with maple syrup and sweet potatoes. So there's not a speck of processed white sugar or flour in sight. And if you're trying to reduce your sugar intake, this is the perfect way to still indulge your sweet tooth. To make our frosting, we'll first need to steam and chop a white sweet potato. You'll want to peel it, chop it, and then steam it. So we're going to add 1.5 cups of sweet potatoes. And then we'll add 1/4 cup of peanut butter, 1/4 cup of maple syrup, a teaspoon of vanilla, and 1/4 teaspoon of salt. And to make this frosting extra creamy, you're going to add the solid part of a can of coconut milk. So what you do is put your can into the fridge overnight, works great, or for at least several hours, and then the cream part is going to harden. And then you simply take a fork and you can scrape out all the cream part. This is going to make our frosting just super creamy and delicious. Now we'll put on our lid and mix it on high. Now we have just this creamy, delicious peanut butter frosting. That smells amazing. I can smell the peanuts and a little bit of vanilla. And of course, we need a pinky test. That just tastes light and creamy, and I get the peanut butter flavor. Now we'll want to store this in the fridge to help it set while we make the cupcakes. To make our cupcakes, we're going to start by combining our dry ingredients, which includes 2/3 cup of almond flour, 1/4 cup of coconut sugar, 1/4 cup of tapioca flour, 1/2 cup of cocoa powder, and then I have 2 teaspoons of baking powder and 1/2 teaspoon of salt. And I'll go ahead and mix those together with our whisk so that we can break up any little clumps and just make sure that these are all well combined. Now we'll set this aside. And in a separate mixing bowl, we'll combine our wet ingredients, which is 4 eggs, 1/2 cup of maple syrup, 3 tablespoons of oil. I like to use extra light olive oil, 2 teaspoons of vanilla, and for a little additional flavor, we'll add 1 tablespoon of apple cider vinegar. And mix these together with our whisk until the eggs are combined. And now we can add in all of our dry ingredients and then mix it together just until these ingredients are combined. All right, that looks great. I've recently started using this silicone muffin tray and I will never go back. It has these super flexible little cups that make it really easy to get your muffins or cupcakes out, and I find I don't really need a cupcake liner. But you're welcome to use a metal muffin tin and then just line it with your paper cupcake liners. Take my bowl of batter, and I love using these glass batter bowls that have the handle. It makes it really easy for mixing and for pouring. And so I'm just going to go ahead and pour batter into each of the cups, and I'm going to fill them each up about 3/4 of the way to the top. I can smell the delicious chocolate, a little bit of vanilla, and that little bit of apple cider. That smells amazing. And then now you'll want to bake these in a 350-degree oven for about 25 minutes or until a toothpick comes out clean. I have a batch here that I baked earlier, and I allowed them to cool out on the counter. And then you can see just how easily they pop out of these little muffin cups. And they just have this really wonderful sponge to them and just this beautiful chocolatey color to them. And I cannot wait to try one. Now we can frost our cupcakes. And I've got the frosting out of the fridge so it's nice and chilled. And I'm just going to take a frosting bag. And I love using these jumbo piping tips. I'll just drop it down inside my bag. And I just clipped off the end of this bag, and the tip just fits nice and tight so I don't have to use a coupler. So now I just have to get the frosting into the bag. As an extra hand, I'll just use a jar here to help hold my bag in place. That frosting looks so good. And it's the perfect consistency to be nice and creamy, yet still be able to hold its shape. And the frosting in the bag is trickier than actually frosting the cupcakes. Now, some people like a lot of frosting and some people like less frosting. So I'm going to err on the side of a lot of frosting and generously pipe these. And then they can always scrape off extra if they don't want all of it. So I'm just going to kind of go in a circular motion just to make a really nice little frosting tower on top of the cupcake. There we go. Go around around and then lift at the top. Ooh, that's beautiful. Now this is super easy and you do not have to be a professional cake decorator to make beautiful looking cupcakes. So we could stop here or we could add a few other embellishments. So I have this little squeeze bottle and I just put some straight peanut butter inside. And then we can go on the top here and then just swirl some peanut butter drizzle over the top of our cupcake. And this is just to give a visual representation of what's inside. Plus be able to add a little bit of more creamy peanut butter, which I think will be absolutely delicious. I have some chocolate chips that I melted with a little bit of coconut oil that I put inside this bottle. So now we can add a fun chocolate drizzle, again, just as an indication of what kind of cupcakes these are. And I also believe that sprinkles make everything more special. So we can even drizzle a few little chocolate sprinkles on top. And once you finish frosting your cupcakes, you'll want to store them in the fridge and then bring them out right before serving. Well, that looks fantastic and super tasty and would be fun for any celebration. So now I'm debating, do I just bite right in or eat this with a fork? Look at that spongy cake inside. Oh, there we go. That's a little more manageable. Wow. That is so good. The cake is spongy and moist and just has that delicious, rich chocolate flavor. And then that frosting is just really light and creamy and taste of the peanut butter. And I love the little accents of the actual drizzled peanut butter and the little bit of chocolate. And of course, having a little crunch from the sprinkles, you can't go wrong. This is definitely a dessert that everyone can enjoy, those who might need gluten-free and dairy-free and those who don't. Well, thank you so much for hanging out with me today in my kitchen to make these gluten-free chocolate peanut butter cupcakes. And if you'd like to see the recipe card for this video, please visit my website, gentletummy.com. And I also invite you to like and subscribe to my channel. And if you know someone who would love to have a dairy-free, gluten-free, delicious dessert, please share this video with them. And I can't wait to have you in my kitchen again next time.